asshole stories. So what I like to do here is I go over 5 stories each video. I read them and then I give my opinion on if the person who posted is the asshole in the situation or if someone else is or nobody is. And if you don't know what Am I the Asshole the subreddit is about, it describes itself as a catharsis for the frustrated moral philosopher in all of us, and a place to finally find out if you are in the wrong in an argument that's been bothering you. Tell us about any non-violent conflict you've experienced. Give us both sides of the story, and find out if you're right or if you are the asshole. So, I hope that you'll, in the comments, let me know as well if you listen to all these, what your opinion is for each one, and let's begin. Number 1. Am I the asshole? I made my daughter, 11, cry during Dungeons & Dragons. Even though everything turned out okay, my wife is still mad. Background. I have been running a 3-year Dungeons & Dragons game for my daughter who's 11. I play all other characters, including her party members of 5. They started out their adventure as petty thieves, but are now heroes, all with their own character growth over time. Her character learned early that her character was the target of a dark god that had severed her soul from her body. She and her band of reformed heroes has spent many sessions thwarting a hag. Finally, the hag kidnaps a young girl who's friends with the party. We start our D&D session last night and my wife is present in the room. I narrate the events in her game. The party finds what they think is the hag lair and is prepared for an epic fight to save the child, only to find the lair abandoned with the girl in a magical prison and a letter from the hag. The letter indicates that the magical trap will soon kill the girl and that she, my daughter's character, must choose her sorrow. The girl will be freed on the condition that 2 of her companions are sacrificed, or her life alone to be sacrificed. They attempt a variety of methods to break the trap. Her companions range from efforts to break it to resignation to be the one to sacrifice. These are characters I've been playing for my daughter for years, and she's grown to love them. My daughter starts quietly sobbing as she realizes there isn't anything her character can do. My wife sees and hears all of this. I let my daughter feel the range of emotions as she's in what seems to be an impossible situation. I tell her that while she does have companions, they said they were willing, she could decide that this is where her character's story ends as a heroic sacrifice. She starts crying. This would mean a permanent end to a 3-year story. I ask her if she wants to take a break to think. She nods and goes to her room. My wife then, clearly upset, tells me I shouldn't have done this and to present her with a solution that doesn't have consequences, but I didn't want to cheapen the gravity of the story. I go to my daughter's room and ask how she is. Tearfully, she says that she knows what she will do. We start the game again and she announces, in character, that she couldn't live with herself if she let her friends die, and touches the hag device that will kill her. I change the music to an ethereal soundtrack and narrate her seeing herself as if outside her body, and the sacrifice she was willing to make restores her shattered soul with such magnitude and force that it breaks the hag's trap, and that her character felt an overwhelming sense of wholeness as her soul heals with this act of sacrifice. I see my daughter's visible shock, relief, and then joy as I narrate the captured girl released and her own life and soul intact, having broke the hag's magic. She jumps from her chair and hugs me, sobbing. I'm crying too. I'm not sure my wife has forgiven me, though. She's really mad I put our daughter through this. Am I the asshole? Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's awesome to want to spend time with your kid and, like, make these intricate games and stuff, but, like, why'd you have to turn it into, like, a Saw situation or something? Like, it just seems way too heavy for, like, an 11-year-old, you know? I would have just stuck to something a bit more, like, kid-paced. I mean, obviously that's just me, but it seems kind of mean. I don't know. Number 2. Am I the asshole for taking my girlfriend's lasagna home when she said I could? My girlfriend and I are both college students. She lives in an apartment on her own, and I live with my parents. On Sunday, my girlfriend made homemade lasagna for our date night. She made everything from scratch, including the noodles. It was really good, so after we finished, I asked if I could take lasagna home for my family to try. She said yes. When I left that night, I took the tray of lasagna with me. My girlfriend didn't walk me outside, so she didn't take the tray. On Monday, I got a text from my girlfriend asking where her lasagna was. I told her I'd taken it home for my family. She said, I thought you were going to take some, not the whole thing. I spent most of my food budget for the week on that, with the intention to eat leftovers for the rest of the week. Now I don't know what I'm going to eat. I felt bad and apologized, but pointed out that I had asked her if I could take it home, and she didn't tell me that I couldn't take the whole tray. She said it should have been obvious that I shouldn't take the whole thing since the tray was so big. To be fair to her, it was a really big tray. My family of 5 only just finished the tray yesterday after eating it for dinner both nights, but I don't think the size of the tray makes it obvious that I shouldn't take it. Monday night and last night, my girlfriend complained that she had to eat instant noodles for dinner so that she wouldn't blow her food budget. Today, she's asking me if I can buy her a sandwich since I took her leftovers for the week. It sucks that she spent her food budget on the lasagna, but I think this is her fault for not being clear that I shouldn't take the whole thing. I don't think she's justified in asking me to buy her lunch because of it. She called me an asshole for not being willing to help her out. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are the asshole. If it's a huge tray of food, why do you think it was made? Just to be given away? You know what I mean? Like, I'm picturing a massive tray of lasagna, and you know that you have like a strained food budget. So like, why would you take every single morsel of it instead of just taking a section for your family for one night? And then you won't even give her a sandwich because you ate all of her food. You just sound like a douche. You know, no offense, but like really. Number 3. Am I the asshole for telling my son, 15, to jump another kid, 13? This kid has been bullying my youngest because he's a 6th grader and all of this dumb preteen bullshit. They always tell kids to tell their parents, but they never really tell you, the parent, what to do. I called the school multiple times. My ex-wife even threatened a lawsuit against them. They've still done, really, nothing. He's still in my son's chess class, still have the same PE, still the same lunch. Nothing. I kept telling him to defend himself, but he won't listen to me, or he thinks of some cute but ineffective insults. I wouldn't care if he cussed him out at that point. The kid ended up threatening to put his hands on him, and he did, and my son's arm ended up being broken. The school still did absolutely nothing. I was completely over it and honestly wanted to beat up that kid myself, but I taught my younger son some self-defense techniques like holding a combination lock in your hand while you punch, avoid grabbing, how to take someone to the ground, the usual stuff. Since his friends were also there, I taught them too. Then, when I was picking up my son, after he told me what the kid looked like, I told my oldest son and his friends to just get him. Now my ex-wife is all pissy about it. She keeps saying that what I did was wrong and she's calling me a psychopath and all these things. I know it's kind of morally wrong, but is it really? Am I the asshole? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird to jump a younger kid when the one is 13 and one is 15, right? This reminds me of when I was a kid. I kept on getting bullied by these kids. They'd put snow in my hair and push me and follow me and all that. And one time, my dad caught them and just came out and screamed at them, and they never bothered me again. I don't know if I would say this guy is the asshole for that. It's really kind of, to me, not clear. So, it's up in the air. I wouldn't say he's evil for it, but I don't know. Especially after the fact that the son got his arm broken. Like, that's pretty bad. That's worse than any of the bullying I had as a kid. 4. Am I the asshole for not apologizing to my former bully for what my mom did to ruin her life? I, 30F, have a mom, 51F, who I love dearly despite her not being the best. When I say not being the best, I don't mean she was directly or purposefully harmful to me. She just had a lot of mental health issues that prevented her from being the most present parent. The most responsible and loving thing that she could do for me was give my dad, 57M, primary custody, and didn't fight the court's recommendation for supervised visits until I was a teenager. Without fail, my mom always showed up to my birthdays, gave me presents, and called me on holidays, and would go to as many events as she could for me. While I was sad that my mom wasn't around all the time, my parents always made sure that I knew it wasn't my fault and that my mom was just sick. I never really had an issue with that explanation until Tamara, 30, female, made fun of me for not having a mommy who loved me enough to want me. In her world, when parents split up, the mom always got the kids unless she didn't love them. That's how it started in elementary school. And then Tamara started bullying me for other things. I used to come home crying multiple times, and my dad went to the school with this issue repeatedly. But since none of the adults were around when Tamara's alleged bullying happened, there wasn't much that was done. For the longest time, my mom didn't know about any of this because Dad feared that she would make it even worse. However, when my mom saw how visibly upset I was, I broke down and told her everything. My hair was the result of Tamara accidentally spilling a mix of glue and blue paint on top of my head. My mom was very calm and comforting the whole time and asked me for Tamara's full name and any other description that I could give of her parents, and the type of car they drove. My dad eventually was able to get me over to another school, and the following year my mom paid for me, my dad, and her to go to Mouse World in Florida. I never saw or heard from Tamara again until recently when she and I discovered that her boyfriend was living in the same apartment complex as me. Tamara recognized me immediately and confronted me about my mom and how my mom and I had ruined her life. I had no idea what she was talking about, and Tamara told me that my mom had an affair with Tamara's dad and revealed it at Tamara's birthday party. I didn't believe her and just walked away, and when I told my mom about it, she admitted to everything and even said that the money she used to pay for our family trip came from Tamara's dad. I was shocked. I did some digging, and apparently Tamara's parents had a bitter divorce, were forced to sell the house, and to this day Tamara feels a certain level of dread around her birthday. My mom feels no remorse as, in her eyes, it was all Tamara's fault for being a bully in the first place. I definitely feel like my mom went way overboard despite understanding the why, but am I the asshole for not giving an apology? No, you're not the asshole. You didn't even know this happened, first of all, and second, you aren't your mom. Like, when I was growing up, my parents had a divorce and there was a home wrecker situation too. So, like, I can get being very angry at that person, but at the same time, this isn't your fault, you know? You shouldn't be made to feel sorry for something you didn't do and you didn't even know about for, like, what? You're 30 now, so what? 20 years? Maybe more? No, you're not the asshole. Now, this is an especially long one and kind of a gross one. Number 5. Am I the asshole for throwing away my girlfriend's umbilical cord? Hi, my 34 male girlfriend, 21 female, of 2 years is Native American, and she had this small, beaten-up leather pouch. It was about the size of a golf ball, and it was beaded, but there were beads missing and thread exposed, and the leather was stained and greasy with something. It was supposed to look like a turtle or a lizard or something, but it was so beaten that it was hard to tell. The thing absolutely stunk. We had it in a box of keepsakes along with our photos and other things, and it made the box have a musty smell. Imagine my horror when I asked what the thing was, and she told me it was her umbilical cord. It grossed me out and I thought she was joking, so I laughed. She looked upset, so I asked if she was serious. She was. I asked her why she had it, and she told me that it was her people's cultural practice to stop you from searching for things or something, among other things. I thought the sentiment was nice, but it stunk and was hideous. I understand that some people keep teeth and that sort of thing, but teeth don't stink and aren't kept in a strange little pouch. The whole thing skeezed me out, so I put it back and left it alone. But 2 weeks ago when she was sleeping, I was going through our things and wanted to scan an old photo. I opened our keepsake box and the wave of musty air hit me. I couldn't take it anymore, so I hid the thing in a box in the basement. We went through our photos and things together. It was a lovely night. We did it over wine, and she didn't even acknowledge that it was missing. I even asked her if she had noticed anything gone from our stuff. She said she didn't, and laughed. So yesterday, I decided to rid us of it and put it in the trash. It went, and I could breathe a sigh of relief knowing my girlfriend's actual, entire mummified umbilical cord was where it should have been to begin with. But today, her mom called and told her that she was willing to remake the pouch for her if she sent it. Oops. She proceeded to tear apart our room looking for it, sobbing hysterically and not listening to any kind of reason. I admit, I felt bad. Maybe I should have just left it alone, but why even keep such a thing? I came clean and told her I threw it away because I thought she wouldn't notice. She started screaming at me and said that it wasn't my right to throw her things away. I reminded her of when she threw my favorite shirt away just because it had a hole and a grease stain. She told me it wasn't the same thing. But isn't it? They were both items kept purely out of sentimentality. At least my shirt wasn't making her photos smell musty. She was suddenly calm, and I thought she was willing to talk about it, but she started packing her stuff. I begged her to stay, but she took her car and her stuff and left. I don't know where she went or if she'll be back, but I'm devastated. It was such a small and dumb thing to split up over, but I do regret it. Am I the asshole? I would say yes. Something like that isn't really yours to throw away in the first place, and if it grosses you out, you should probably just bring that up to her, as opposed to immediately thinking, oh, whatever, I can just throw this away, who cares? Because, like, if it's got like a sort of cultural sentimentality, then it's obviously important, and I mean, it's been there for 21 years, so, yeah, perhaps you should be a little bit more cautious with that. But the story does not end there. There are more edits, so, edit 1. Stop bringing our ages into this. She was and is an adult, and you have no right to judge us. Focus on what I'm talking about here and now. I didn't want to put it in a different container because at the end of the day, we still would have had a body part that should have been tossed to begin with. Just because something is cultural doesn't mean that justifies it. Would it be okay if I kept all my fecal matter in a little bag because I thought I was special? It doesn't and shouldn't make sense. I feel like she was overreacting, and I think everyone calling me the asshole should have to smell the damn thing. Then you'd know why I tossed it. Edit 2. All these comments are making me feel like complete shit. The last time we fought, she came back after an hour. She isn't back yet, and it's starting to take a toll. She's the one that makes dinner, cleans, comforts me. She's always there for me. Holy crap, can't you cook dinner for her? She's always there for me. The notion that I might spend tonight alone is destroying me. She's always been perfect to me, and I do things like this that upset her. Maybe I am the asshole. I'm sorry, guys. I've been calling her and she won't answer. I just want to apologize and get her back. I want her to know how much she means to me. I think I might call her mom and tell her what I did to see if I can get her to make another one. I know it won't be the same and it won't have her umbilical cord anymore, but maybe it'll be a start. Update 3. I couldn't get a hold of her mom, but I've been on the phone with the sanitation department for our city, and they put me on hold for 45 minutes looking through the trash from our neighborhood. I barely caught them, and it took a lot of pleading and convincing, but they were kind. They managed to find the pouch, and I'll have to pay a huge recovery fee, but that's all worth it. They agreed to let me pick it up tomorrow. I can't get a hold of my girlfriend. Hopefully she'll come back to me and things will be alright. I'll never touch her stuff again if it means she'll stay with me. I'll update this when I can get a hold of her. Edit 4. This will be the last update. I'm so devastated. I got the pouch back from the sanitation center today as soon as they called me at 8 a.m. this morning. It was a little smashed up, but it's okay. If our city wasn't as small as it is, I might not have been able to get it back. I paid them and left. I left a voicemail for my girlfriend telling her I got it back, and she finally called me back. She told me she was coming back, and I felt butterflies again like when I first met her. I was waiting for her to show up, and I wanted to fully check the condition of the pouch. So I opened it and discovered what was causing it to smell. There was a cigarette butt in it beside her umbilical cord that looked like it might have been wet at some point. It made the pouch smell like ash, along with the leather stinking from whatever greasy substance was on it. The pouch was okay, so I waited for my girlfriend to come. Well, she came this evening and asked for it immediately. I asked her if she wanted to have dinner with me, and she said no. I was hurt. She said she was coming back. She told me no. She just wants her pouch. I didn't want to be an asshole again, so I just gave it to her. I told her I loved her, and she slammed my own door in my face. I began to mourn our relationship, but she came back in and grabbed me by my shirt and asked why I opened it. I told her I wanted to see if it was in okay condition. She said I didn't need to open it and asked if I took the cigarette out. I told her I had just touched it to look at it, and she began to cry. She told me she was keeping that since her father committed suicide because it was the last thing he touched. She grabbed me again and I thought she was going to hit me, but she just went to our room, presumably to see if she got all her stuff. Then she told me not to contact her again or she'd send her brothers to me. I won't be an asshole and get the police involved, but that was definitely a threat. I'm so heartbroken. I've lost my whole life. For 2 whole years, she was everything to me. I helped her get off the reservation. I paid for her GED. I did so much for her, but none of it matters now. I put so much time into our relationship and into her. I was in it for the long haul. I know I messed up. I know I'm an asshole. I know I'll be alone forever. Thank you all for making me see that. I went to our room and she threw what looks like porcupine quills or something everywhere. She stabbed them into my side of the bed, put them in my shoes, in the dresser drawers. It seems spiteful to leave something so difficult to pick out of carpeting and bedding. They're all I have left of her now, though. I'm going to keep them. I hope she's better off without me. Lesson learned, I guess. Well, I don't think that you should keep those quills. I mean, for her record, that seems kind of immature to be throwing quills and stuff that can hurt you into the room. Though that's not saying that you weren't, like, being a dick, but, I mean, I don't know. Overall, I mean, I wouldn't stay hung up on that person for too long because, like, usually with an age gap that big, I would think that it, for the most part, won't work out as well. Though, I mean, there's a lot of instances where it's not that way, but the maturity level here seems kind of off. Like, I know you're immature, OP, but also the girlfriend did some kind of immature stuff later on, like throwing the quills. She should have just grabbed it and left, and probably not threatened you, but I don't know. It was a depressing story overall, but hopefully nowadays both of them are doing better. Anyways, that was it for the new installment, and I hope that you're doing well. I want to give a special thank you to the channel member, Marvin. I appreciate it. You know, it means a lot that people like these videos enough to be members, to leave likes, comments, to leave hypes, to just spend their time watching these videos. I know that they're kind of lo-fi. One sec. Sorry about that, asthma. Anyways, I know these videos are kind of lo-fi and all that, but I appreciate that people like them enough to even stop by and watch. So, I'm going to try my best to make the best ones I can. I've got some good ones coming, I think. If you like, you can leave a hype on the video, which helps it to go up in a leaderboard in topics. I'm not sure if there's an ASMR topic, but I assume there's a place to find them. It's almost like back in the day when YouTube had, like, featured videos. It's kind of like that. But, yeah, if you want to become a member, you can. I have it for, there's 2 levels, and they're both relatively cheap. And, yeah, I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.